Hello, and welcome to the Libri Labra Book Club. Today we're going to be talking about Red Rising by Pierce Brown. And this book was selected
by me.
By you.
I did it.
So just be aware that we'll kind of give our initial thoughts, and then we'll be jumping into spoilers. So if you haven't read Red Rising, go do that, and then come back and watch our discussion.
Worth it. Do it.
John, what made you pick this book?
I really liked it, and I could do a second read through. So, and there was quite a few things that I found through the second read through that I'm proud of. I was just like, you could tell things are happening before they're happening after you know they're happening. But
no, I've actually had this book for a while. We've had it in Audible, so you just kind of randomly picked it up one day?
Yeah, I just I don't know, I want something to listen to, and Red Rising was on the list, so I was like, yeah, let me do that one. And then I blew through the trilogy and started the fourth book. Actually finished the fourth book.
Tom, this was also a reread for you.
Yes. I forget why I originally picked it up. I first read this in 2015, so.
Okay. Yeah, when it came out.
Yeah. Oh, did it? Is that when it came out? I don't know.
I think I just went through a discussion post on Reddit that was like 4 years old, so okay. Pretty sure that was when there was a lot of hype about it after it released.
Then I would think that I probably happened to see it. And go, oh, look, Neo-Roman setting. Okay, I'm in, and I read it. So that's my reasoning. So I liked it. Obviously, I liked it because I read it the second time. So.
Glad to hear it.
I wasn't really sure what it was about. I mean, I've heard a lot about the series in the community, and I've seen interviews with the author, and so I knew it was a book that I wanted to read and I wanted to get to.
But that's kind of what drew me to it, is the fact that all of that hype was there, but I still knew nothing about the book and the story. So that's why I was like, well, let me see what this is all about. I'm curious now. Thanks for, and because if you give me something ahead of time that I really don't really like, I'm probably not going to chase it. But that curiosity is what got me, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's just like, well, I mean, it's got a lot of hype. I know nothing about it. Let's fix that. So
it has a lot of characters. And I will probably have to reread it as well, because even though I understood the overarching story, I feel like there was a lot of depth that I was probably missing. I'm sure there's reasoning behind his choices for the character names and the house names and all that other stuff. So I'd love to go back and kind of dig in a little bit deeper to find some more meaning in there, because I'm sure there's tons of it. But other than that, I liked it. So,
I was actually looking for. Can you pull something up? Some discussion questions, because I was looking and nobody. There's people discussing it, but there's no actual questions about it. And then
are we in spoiler territory now?
I think this is where we should go into spoiler territory.
Yes, so we're ready to.
Now's the time to stop if you haven't read it. But make sure you come back, because that'll be worth it.
But in summary, this is Mean Hogwarts plus what the hell's the Japanese movie series. I had it and then I lost it.
Mean Hogwarts.
Yeah, remember who's the other one? Kristoff, the book that.
Yeah, Nevernight.
Nevernight. Yeah, that was Mean Hogwarts too. That's that trope with what the hell's the name of the series? Not the Hunger Games, but the one. Well, yeah, it was like the Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, yeah.
There's a Japanese movie that
Divergent Hunger Games.
Yeah, Roman stuff in it, and there you go. That was pretty much the book.
Let's see if I can. But it was, to me, it was definitely similar to.
Well, I think that seems to be the popular thing now. It's like, hey, let's just make a school for other things. I mean, Ruby, if you watch the anime, the rigged anime, because it's done with a completely different animation style. That's basically Hogwarts for ninjas or people with swords and blades, and they go to school to fight things.
Yeah, but they also retain the Hogwarts thing of having different houses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I guess that's why I feel like it's, so closely to Hunger Games, because there was 12 of them. Weren't there like 12? But there was more than that, maybe, in Hunger Games.
There was 12 divisions.
Was there?
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 houses and 50 members in each house.
So,
start.
And they all kind of had different purposes.
But it's crazy how they do it in like, okay, this is basically they're truncating everything that can happen in a war format, a siege, an old-fashioned siege type combat. Without they had to work with what they got, and I mean it was kind of cool that the proctors could step in and hand them a few things here and there, but that's just, and then it just got out of hand and ruined it.
No, the game was rigged, just like the Laurel was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is upsetting. Because I kind of feel like that's what we're going through right now.
What's going on?
Just politics.
Oh yeah.
Rigged.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is it has the that caste system. It has the I guess was it communism? No, not necessarily communism, but it's not democracy. They were actually pooped on democracy a few times in this.
With a K.
What?
It was democracy with a K.
Oh, okay.
Desirai is correct.
So,
I listened to it. So
yeah, I know you didn't see it.
Well, again, this is the not the Holy Roman Empire, the actual Roman Empire, with Caesars and everything else.
Yeah, they're even compared to that a few times. They were encouraged to learn about all of that, and then they're just thrown into that scenario.
Yes.
And whoever comes out of it on top gets the highest accolades after the fact, and gets the first draft on who picked on what, right, and who is under what family.
So, what genre would you assign this book? And do you think it falls under multiple?
Oh, absolutely, falls under quite a few.
Science fiction.
I like his neo-Roman
right out for that
descriptor. Sci-fi, would it be post-apocalyptic? Postmodern?
Yes. Post-apocalyptic, yes, and also alternate history.
Yeah, all that. And YA. The next book kind of takes us out of YA.
Well, because the main character is...
Well, they're all kids. 16. They're all going to school. Mm-hmm. School.
In Hogwarts.
I wonder why they made them... why the author chose to make him 16 and then give him a wife and then...
Well, they actually it has a lot to do with the society and how it's ended up. Basically they're supposed to be living in this primal setting, and at that point in time they didn't have, they didn't live past 30, 40. So
yeah, you lived hard and you died young.
Yeah,
just essentially what happened in the Middle Ages, and same thing. You would be married at 15.
It was kind of like an interesting combination of the past, but also the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. An unfortunate combination, I guess.
So Darrell's wife, Io, is really important to him, as we know throughout the story. But how do you know this, even though she's not part of the action after the first part of the story? I mean, she seems to be his driving force. And
he even tells somebody that, not specifically that's who his driving force is, but he's like, oh, it's about a girl.
Well, but he's
always about a girl.
He's also dreaming about her and saying her name in his sleep, and
yes.
And isn't he carrying that necklace?
The Hementhus blossom and the pendant? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, which he lost and was recovered brought back to him.
So, I mean, she seems to be like the foundation and the driving force of his motivations for.
I mean, and not just for Darrow. It's the entire resistance.
Right. Because Darrow's notion was, okay, I'm going to kill the arch-governor. Okay, you kill the arch-governor.
And then what?
We'll just replace him, and then nothing else happens.
No, I do like the outside tone of everything. It's just like it's an outline of everything that would have to happen in order to break down specific societal norms, and it's it's sad, really. What you have to, I like what Dancer had put in the beginning. It was like, you're a good man that might have to do bad things.
Yeah.
Those are concepts I struggle with. I mean, I get it, but I don't know.
Do you?
I just, it's, yeah, I mean, I get how people justify some of the bad things they have to do because of a higher purpose.
Like Thanos?
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's not, I mean, I'm sure he rationalized it to himself, however he rationalized it to himself. That's outside of my
moral
boundaries of comprehension. But I'm talking about like smaller things.
I see. Just being mean to do something that is something that you feel has to happen in order to make somebody change to better themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That comes up in a few times in this.
I just, when it comes to taking other human lives, that's it's hard. I don't.
Well, even in here, the golds are supposed to be ruthless. They're supposed to do what they have to do in order to hold whatever power they have.
Mm-hmm.
And you even have some of those characters that do struggle with that.
So do you think that Darrell was in love with Mustang? And was he right to trust her after learning her identity? Why or why not?
He didn't learn her identity until after he had already trusted her in the wrong places.
Right, but like, as I was listening to it, when I found out that she was the Jackal's sister, I was like, I knew it. Like, I felt like I just knew that was coming. But I also wanted to believe that despite that, she wasn't going to betray Darrell, that she was still like loyal to his cause and to
the sad part is there's so much more information that's
not in this story.
That's not in this part. That's I'm like, but there's just more to add to it later. Like the if you've only read Red Rising, read the rest of the series because there's so much more to it. And is as slow of a start as Red Rising might be for the story building and the world building. I've read in a couple places that people are all like, "Oh, the last quarter of the book really, sold me. That's where I got hooked, and I was bored the first half."
Action happened, yeah.
Right. Well, when you go into the next book, it's straight into it. Like, there's a little bit of catch up to be like, "This is what happened. This is where we're at." Okay, here's all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, about EO being the driving force that plays a larger role, not just in Darrow. So I believe that, and I could talk so much. His love for Mustang as well. Come on, you knew that was happening.
But I mean, like, go ahead, Tom.
No, the question I had, and I know he's not omnipotent or omniscient, I should say, but he seems to be so smart in everything else. How is it that he did not see that? Oh yeah, hey, those guys look really a lot alike when they're together.
You talking about the brother sister, or
yeah?
Okay.
Because he picked it up with Fitchner and Severo, but they weren't even together at the time.
Right.
So
I don't know.
I've seen
brother sister twins that really. I mean, when they're twins, they look the same. But when you can look at them at first glance and be like, "Oh, you can tell they're brother and sister," but not really.
I don't know if I would have. I think I could have gotten fooled by that, maybe. Especially when you're not.
Well, whether you or I would be, but the question he did. He didn't pick up on it.
Oh, because love is blind.
Yeah.
Well, not just that. I think he wanted to have faith in certain things, and she was encouraging him to do that. She was encouraging him.
But how do you even start relationships with people without knowing who they are?
Because when you base your ideas of them on their actions and what you see versus whatever backstory you haven't heard yet.
What?
I'm saying a person
is he gonna call her? He didn't even know her first name. He didn't know her real name until after like half the shit happened.
Right, but he knows that she came and she helped him and she like helped him heal and
yeah, that's after he knew her name was Virginia. They called her Mustang for how long? They still do, but I'm just saying, like they didn't even know it was just first contact done, like hooked. That's not.
No, I feel like they had a history and he based it on that history. He based it.
Yeah, because he knew he saw Virginia when he was first became a gold. She was the one he was trying to ride the horse, and she was laughing at him. So yeah, it was clear. Okay, this is going to be the love interest, and of course, sure enough,
it was too obvious for that early in the book, though.
Sure enough.
So the entire book is told from Darrow's perspective. Is there another character whose perspective you might have liked to see? And maybe talk about how that would have changed the story.
Several.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I want to watch that guy run around the woods for a while, find out what he did in his adventures.
Cassius would be another one.
Who?
And the Jackal, probably.
He said Cassius.
Oh, Cassius. Okay.
Cassius, yeah.
Actually, if you want to go back from multiple perspectives, I really think even to get a little understanding on the backstory in Titus would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pax. I know, poor Pax.
Let's see. Of the cast of characters that Darrow is friends with at the end of Red Rising, which ones do you believe will continue to be trusted friends in the sequels? Why
That's a good question.
not?
I can't answer that question.
Yeah, you can't.
I can't.
Don't give.
I can't answer that question.
Don't give
No.
spoilers.
Should have left that list over here so I could read it, but that's fine.
I would say Severo. And I think that's the only person I would say. That's my thoughts.
Well, he's the one that Darrow says that, when we get out of here, we're still we're real friends. We're not just school friends.
That could be that could just be a setup, but I don't know. Yeah,
but it's stressed at the end of the book that once you leave here, everything is basically gets reset. All loyalties, promises, everything else goes out the window, and now you're beginning your new life.
And you read book 2 already, Tom?
No, he hasn't.
No.
I just started it to see where it picked up. And apparently it picks up right after.
Yeah.
Literally right after book 1. So
you can trip over the end of book 1 and then book 2. What I have a question is that they've never actually mentioned who Ares actually is. Do you guys have any questions on that? Or any guesses? I can't say yes or no, but I just want to know what you guys think.
What, that there is an Ares? Yes, there is. I believe there is.
Okay.
I don't have any thoughts on that. I don't have any.
All right. So the first book was pretty much about Red Rising. Him actually coming out of the caste system started from the bottom. Now we're here. So the next book is breaking down everything with what's going on politically.
And the next book is Golden Sun. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the books seem to get longer as you go further into the series, but that's another story entirely.
I didn't even look at that.
No,
it was worth blowing through it.
Yeah. So
I'm just sad that I did that because now I'm waiting on book 5 to come out.
Yeah, but it'll come out in a couple months.
Yeah, but then book 6 is
just start reading series that are already completed.
Yeah, I agree with this.
Trying to pace ourselves for Scythe.
Well, I mean, and all that, and technically speaking, the first trilogy is done. That you guys don't have to go to Iron Gold to move on from there.
Right. Well, that's good to know.
It's like this is one trilogy, and then this is the next trilogy. It actually there's a good cutoff point after book 3. What we got here?
It says, near the end of the novel, the Arch-Governor cautions Darrow, but of all the things in all the worlds, words are power. Consider Darrow's speeches, his native dialect, and the words that the author has created for the book. Which words are most important and why?
That's pretty analytical question there.
I don't know if I have an answer for this.
I mean, it depends on what words you focus on, because you could just look at break the chains, and it's just that's their. Is that what we call a slogan? Or is that something that that's?
There were a couple of things in the book that seemed like they were repeatable sound bites, like
right,
shift the paradigm.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Well, if we're actually going back and looking at Darrow's speeches, I don't have them memorized, but he used specific words to rally people together versus trying just to show. He was showing like power the entire time. Like he meant to use like powerful, aggressive, and stuff, but also in a way that he doesn't make them completely fear him. That he was trying to instill more trust than fear most of the time. So, but I'm thinking they're looking for an alternate, like a deeper meaning than what I can come up with at the moment.
What are your thoughts, Tom?
Well, I think one of his discoveries in leadership was that he was so focused on the goal and damn the people that were trying to help him get to that goal, which is why, Cassius, well, it wasn't why Cassius had to deal with it, but it had made him stop and think. So that the next, Darrow version 2 pretty much said, well, okay, if you fight for me, you don't have to do so as a slave. No, you get your freedom, and you fight with me.
Like Daenerys.
Yeah, right.
In other words, he tells them, okay, you do this, and this will happen. And throughout the book, society's telling you do this, and this will happen, but they renege on it or they rig the game.
Right.
So,
okay, that's a good point.
And it's the kind of thing where, when he starts taking slaves, he's apparently okay with it now, like when he originally started. So it's like, he who was born into essentially slavery now is okay with taking in slaves himself. So he bought into the society's doctrine.
He probably tried to put his own twist on it, though. He was like, "Yeah, you guys, I'm gonna turn you, but then I'm gonna take it back off. That way, you're making the choice to work with me."
Yeah, but that's the second time. The first time he was just, you do this, you do this, you do this. Yeah. And who was that? The woman, the girl that was in his thing.
I thought that said...
not Mustang, Antonia. That's why she was pissed off at him. That's why she betrayed him. So.
It was Mustang that had pointed it out, though.
Yeah,
she had been like, "This is."
And that's what they were really serving there. They would put the characters really in line with the deities that in the houses that they were a part of, because Mars, of course, is the god of war, and Athena is the goddess of wisdom, especially when it comes to war and tactics.
See, that's what I wish I knew that.
Minerva, in other words,
that depth existed in there, and I wish I had been able to.
Didn't.
But like, you're saying it didn't at all?
It did. It did.
No, it did.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what made it interesting to me, because you know how everybody said, "Oh,
uh oh, I think we lost you, Tom."
Yeah, Mars burns. Oh, I'm angry. Roar, like Kratos.
Yeah. I think you're getting a little bit locked up.
Oh, he's angry. Am I?
Yeah, a little bit. Hopefully, it's just like a blip. But you're freezing up.
But and it was interesting how like the house berries they gave the baking ovens to. Yeah, something's going on.
Okay, hopefully it just you're able to catch up. I don't think it's on our end. I have full bars. Yeah, I think so, but it's intermittent. that you're freezing up. Sorry, guys.
Okay, you're not hearing me.
Okay, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I guess we're back.
I hope so.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. There was a scene in the book that I thought was really interesting, mostly because of my own experience. After having surgery on my wrist twice, they kind of told me if the cancer came back that they would have to cut off my hand. And so, that's been a fear and a thought, and just like the scene in the book where he tells Jackal, "You're free to leave if you cut off your hand," and the Jackals seem to have no issues with that. And I thought it was just interesting reflecting on how Darrell was like, I use my hands for so much because that's the level of work that he does.
Right.
That I really identified with that feeling, because I was thinking, I'm a crafter, I make things, I like, so the idea of not having one of my hands is like crazy. And but
the Jackal was just like, this is just a tool I can do
like
a
sociopath. Yeah.
What?
All right, it's done. Here we go.
I mean, just basically saying that like my value is up here, not
right.
I don't know, the whole thing. I thought the whole scene was very interesting and kind of hit me hard. So is there what do you have any additional thoughts? Was there a specific character that several?
Then I mean, I think he was probably one. I mean, it is not only was he like comedy relief in certain areas, like, I mean, as serious as this book really was, the fact that they put a little bit of humor in there. I mean, it was a few characters that actually had a little bit of humor, but I know it didn't have to be the vulgar and overly chauvinistic type, because they showed a little bit of that with other characters as well.
Right.
I feel like there were parts of it that reminded me of Lord of the Flies. I just read that recently.
I mean, it's just the idea of what society actually goes to, down to the primal, when if it's just about survival, it goes pretty dark.
But like the Hunger Games, like in the Hunger Games, I felt like there was so much more weight to everything, where in Red Rising, I didn't quite feel the same, even though there was still deaths, even though there were still things that happened.
Well, because of the medbots.
Yeah, but I think, Hunger Games had box drops and stuff where they had meds and shit. They would get things. They would get prizes. But didn't they get like...
Yeah, ointment.
But it just felt different, I guess. It just felt heavier in the Hunger Games than it did in Red Rising. Like, Red Rising just felt more like a game the elite are playing versus... What'd you say?
A game. I said it was because it's just a game. It wasn't taken that seriously. But how can I put it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how I can better word what I'm thinking.
But the elite are doing this with their own children.
Right.
And it's basically, I'm going to have 6 children and one of them will come out on top.
But maybe it's the fact that they were hoping their children would learn something from it versus using them for purely entertainment purposes.
Oh yeah, no, this wasn't for entertainment. This was to get the cream of the crop, so they would actually like be a fleet master or something big in the military later.
Plus, also too, you have to remember that they apparently use, the firstborn gets everything sort of a thing notion. So if you're like the 5th or 6th son in that house, you're pretty much expendable. Yeah, that's like, they say that in Game of Thrones too. It's like, you're so far down on the totem, Paul. Yeah, we can expand. Go ahead, do the Institute.
Let me see.
one thing I was saying when I was doing the dropout was I liked how like the people, it meant something that you were put into House Mars or House Minerva or House whatever, and they doubled down on it with the fact that the resources you got were dependent on who a deity you were.
Right.
Because Vulcan had better weapons, and Ceres had the baking ovens and the food and everything else.
So, along those lines, says Darrow makes strategic decisions regarding his relationship with the members of House Mars and the houses they conquer. Based on your reading of the novel, who do you think makes a better leader? Someone who is loved or someone who is feared? And use evidence from Red Rising in addition to other texts to support your response.
I mean, it really depends on your type of thinking, because so many people have grown up, like so many of the elites have grown up in the way that power is power, and you just and fear is better as a, like, I just, oh my god, I can't, my brain's just melting right now, because it's like it's we just keep repeating ourselves in our freaking own history and government.
Yep.
It's just like, ugh.
Well, who would you rather fight under? Jon Snow or Cersei Lannister?
Right.
Or even just like, because they kind of did a comparison in one of the most recent episodes with Sansa and Daenerys, when Theon was like, I'm here to fight with Sansa if she'll have me. And so you can clearly see that loyalty that comes from love versus...
Right.
Yeah, so I would say love.
Yeah, there's a in the book, I don't know if they mention it in the series, because it's Game of Thrones. One of the family's mottos is family, duty, and honor. And the kid asks, why is it that way? And the maester explains, and it's like, because family comes first, and that's what we see here as well.
Not in Victoria. Was that her name? Virginia. I know it was Mustang, so
just call
yeah.
it Mustang.
Right.
Yeah, but it's possible to say, yeah, I don't like that brother, and that's what happened. But that's what created the tension in the book, because you figure family is so strong throughout the book, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, she's got to be betraying him, but she doesn't.
Right. I guess that would be a twist of a twist.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do enjoy the fact that they used that. There was actually another point to go against the love versus fear bit, is that there was a time that he described that he was like, they'll fight. There's 2 to 3 more times more people on their side, but mine will fight harder, because they have that reason, they have that love, that loyalty.
That why.
So,
right.
Interestingly, I just read a book that involved a female who, seemed like she was kind of fighting for the right side, and then it turned out she had a twin brother doing a bunch of bad stuff, and so it was kind of the same scenario, like, oh my god, did she betray the person? Like, so it was just interesting that I just read something else very similar to that.
It's a popular theme, I guess.
It's a trope.
But apparently, books or fiction with houses and such is very popular. Because I can think of any number of, like, obviously Hogwarts is the one that really put it on the map, but let's go back to Dune. They had House Atreides, House Harkonnen, and all that other stuff, so
I haven't read that.
it's apparently a good trope to use. Anyway, go ahead.
I think, because I read somewhere that it was a technique to get people, like, to feel like they have a stake in it, because then they can put themselves in a house and then they feel like they're part of the story, kind of.
Oh, that clearly works.
Let me see. If Julian Obolona had not been matched against Darrow at the Institute, how might Cassius Obolona and Darrow's friendship have turned out? Do you believe they still would have become bitter rivals, both wanting to win? Why or why not?
There's a few variables here, because the fact that Darrow ends up falling in love with a rival house, like the Bolognas and the Augustuses are rival families. It's like this Romeo and Juliet bit. So
that rivalry would have eventually.
I think it would have been there anyway. But I mean, if he wasn't paired up with Julius, Julius?
Julian.
Little brother's Julian. Okay, if he
Julian,
wasn't
yeah.
paired up with Julian, who would he have been paired up with then? Like, who else would he have killed? I mean, what if he got the other brother instead?
I mean, I don't know what Cassius expected him to do.
Right. I guess we should have said, dude, I'm sorry, but I had to kill your brother. Then right at the beginning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Say that? I don't know. I don't know if that's... I don't know.
But see, is Cassius's anger misplaced? Either way. Now, the fact that Darrow didn't tell him at all, and he had to find out through, cheating means is one thing, but because that would make me extra angry too.
Well, that feels like betrayal at that point.
But if he had told him right off the bat, do you think that he would even like looked at him like a friend to begin with, or because would he hate Darrow for having that Darrow had to have been the one that killed his brother, or would he had actually been like, they forced it on you. I can't hold that against you.
Well, I guess it would depend a little on if it was before. Who was it that he killed?
Julian.
No.
Who Cassius killed?
Yeah. Thinking that he had killed his brother.
Oh, Titus.
So I guess it depends on if it would have been before or after that. Because once you let someone else die for something you know you did,
right?
I don't know.
That was the plan, I guess.
Darrow.
But the Proctors
kind of
cheated.
Wishy-washy for me.
Well, in a way, though, I guess it suits the pacing of the novel because it gets Cassius out of the way. From that point forward, he's not really a factor until like the end of the book, and then he says, "Yeah, it's like I'm, we're in the blood feud now." So,
dude, there's just so much of the story that happened here plays into the rest of the story. I love it. I love it so much.
All right then.
Like I could see myself reading this more than any other book, just to get the extra little bits and pieces out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pierce Brown did a good job on this story, and it's not just YA; it grows out of it. Like time goes on.
It would have to.
So. And there's a lot and so many good spots. We're all like, "Are you serious right now?" That's it's like.
Of course, one of the things looking into book 2, I could see. Don't tell me if this is the case, but the drafters could be pissed off at Fisher because hey, with all this cheating and such around, did you let Darrow get your grab boots? And then prosecute him for that. Something to think about. So Severo may be out the hook. I'm not sure.
There's more.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
I'm still... I guess I'm just curious where the rest of it is going to go, I guess.
Good.
Sure, I see where it's going.
Well, I mean, he left it specifically, obviously, so that he can add more to the story, because you're like, oh, there's this faction of insurgents that are going against the society at the moment, but enough of that. We're going to go into school. So it's not like there's so much more to the politics and what happens with the resistance after that. And it's interesting how it all plays out now that he's up there and there's still
that was the plan for the book. It's just, okay, let's get him up there, and then now once he's there, what happens next? And
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's many other questions here.
We'll probably do one more and then start wrapping.
Yeah.
No, I think we went through all of them.
Okay. Well, my question, you listened to the book as well, right?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
How did you enjoy Tim Gerard Reynolds' performance?
I thought it was really good. I did not expect an Irish accent.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting that all the Golds were like these upper class British accents. And I thought, oh, okay, I see what's going on here.
Yep. So they I guess even with the narration and the voice acting, they mixed the caste system with racism.
Yeah. Well, there you go. But no, it's the kind of thing where, these colleges like Oxford and Cambridge, he talks like that. Like the upper class twits.
That's what it's
That's what her reminded me of.
The high speak, the high lingo.
High lingo,
versus mid lingo, and then the guttural scrag. What do they call it?
Yeah, slag. But it was that's what I noticed from his narration, and I don't know if it was planned like that, but it's just like, oh my god, he's using like you'd have like where these officers would have gone all to the same military school, and oh, we were military pals back in such and such, and that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I was just thinking about like what happens and everything. Fitchner's role is important in there as well, and I would like to have seen some of the early on bits, like in his eyes, like even if up in Olympus, when everything started going a little awry, and what he had to deal with the rest of the crew up there, and when his house is actually causing all, doing all the things that they were doing, because he came down and he was like, "What are you doing? You're screwing things up."
Yeah, but he technically wasn't House Mars at the time when all this was going down, was he?
What do you mean?
Well, he nearly got killed by Cassius, and he was not affiliated in any way with House Mars, was he? His first soldiers were the Oathbreakers.
You're talking about Fitchner?
No.
Oh, okay.
Darrow.
Oh, are you talking about?
Yeah.
He was drafted in, everybody's drafted into Mars, and then all that happened whenever they split up.
Yeah, but he's a member of House Mars, but he has no standard. He has nothing really.
Are you talking about after Cassius killed him?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then basically everybody else is houseless.
Right. He grabbed all the people that ran away after getting.
Yeah, and then when he takes the slaves and he frees them, they become freemen. I don't think are they affiliated with the house anymore?
I don't think that you're right. I think you're right. I think it would end up being some sort of independent loophole.
Yeah, because official House Mars was Cassius as his Primus through all that.
Oh, because they thought he was dead. Right.
Yeah.
Does the same actor narrate all of the books?
Yes. I
would hope so.
They get more added to the cast in book 4.
Oh, that's far away. Is it another male voice, or do they add a female voice?
No, they add a female voice.
Okay. For whatever reason, I dislike the way males do female voices. It seemed like
Well, they go back and forth, both of them, and it's not pretty, I'd say. It's still good, for what they did, but it's never gonna meet your standards.
Because there was just a couple of parts where he was doing
not
Mustang,
the gold standard.
And I was like, really? Why is he making her talk like that?
Well, just wait till he does. What's her name?
Antonia.
Yeah, Antonia and her family, and you actually get to meet more house families in the next book.
Yes.
And
well, when in the first book they have a list of characters.
And I'd have to say the Telemanises are my favorite.
Yeah.
That's Pax's family.
I wonder if anybody's done any kind of infographics with maps and house.
Oh my god, there's so much. There has to be.
I'm sure there are.
I'll have to check the Red Rising wiki.
Yes.
See what I come up with. All right, do we want to do final thoughts then?
Yep.
We could do that.
Okay. We'll leave you for last.
For me, for last?
It was your selection.
I think
Tom,
it's
you
obvious.
can go first.
Me? I liked it. I gave it a 3 on Goodreads. The original rating, I think, was a 3.5, but I don't remember because this is back from my 2015 reading of the book as well. That, like I said, I was entertained. I was entertained by the book. So, and I would like to see where it leads. So,
Would you say you liked it more or less on reread, or is it about the same?
it's about the same. I remembered some of the twists. And some of them I didn't, but like I said, it was just an enjoyable read for me. I liked it, so
Okay.
I liked it enough to continue with the series. So
I feel like my gut is saying a 3, because I liked it. I don't know if I loved it, but I feel like because I had some issues with his writing, it just felt very choppy and somewhat abrupt. It wasn't super descriptive. It was
I would have to say there are times that if you blink, sneeze, or look at something else and your mind goes somewhere else, you could miss specific details that add to it.
I don't know, I just feel like he had so many 3-word sentences, sometimes just one word. I don't know. It just it felt like disjointed thoughts a lot to me.
Also, reading things at a higher speed or listening to things at a higher speed.
Stop trying to belittle my thoughts about his writing.
I'm not trying to belittle it. I'm just saying there are justifiable reasons why you feel this way.
Okay, so then you don't have to defend this.
I'm not defending. I'm just saying that when you narrate something.
No, but
the timing is different.
I had the book in my hand.
That doesn't mean that you're still taking it at the speed it was meant to. Okay, sorry.
Those are my thoughts on his writing. Anyway, so yeah, I think right now I give it a 3. I mean, It was his. I think it was his debut book. I think.
Was it? That's good. If it was, holy crap.
Could be. I don't know.
I'm curious now.
Well, while she's looking that up.
Yes. What's your thoughts? Yeah, 5. I figured.
Again. So what is it? 3 stars as I like it, 4 stars as I love it, and 5 stars as I want some more of it. No, it's just I gave it a 5 on the first read through, and then I would wish I can give it a 6 now.
Okay then.
And I would actually have to credit Tim Reynolds with some of that because he did a great job, and he made it easier for me to differentiate characters.
Yes. He also sang the songs too.
Oh yeah, I actually wanted to go back and look up the songs.
So it says Pierce Brown's heart-pounding debut.
There you go. First book. Not bad.
So I would imagine the writing would improve slightly.
Pierce Brown's heart-pounding debut is the first book in the spectacular series that combines the drama of Game of Thrones with the epic scope of Star Wars. Oh my.
Wow.
I mean, that sounds accurate.
I don't think I would quite.
That's a bit of a reach.
I mean, I could definitely see things. I could see
I can see why they said it.
Game of Thrones, yes, but Star Wars doesn't happen until later.
Well, that's why they said spectacular series. The series,
the epic scope,
combines those things.
And they're just as descriptive with their summary here. Darrow is a hell diver. And that's it.
Okay, well, I mean,
all you need to know.
That's a Google excerpt, so I'm sure there's more there.
He reminds you that throughout the book. I'm a hell diver.
Oh my God.
I know you're a hell diver.
So many times. I know.
Oh, take a drink. Here you
go. So apparently, Pierce Brown is coming to town on his tour.
Good for you.
So
you have to update us.
We'd be going more for you this time than.
Oh, really? For me, really?
Yeah, I thought it would be.
No, she's doing this for you, John. 6. Don't be so ungrateful.
I mean,
do you not want to see him and get the newest book and get it signed? I mean, if you don't, that's okay.
He can't sign my audiobooks.
No, that's true.
Sign my phone here.
So we'd be getting you a book and having him sign that one, and then I'll be listening to something else.
You're missing the point here, John.
I know. Totally. It should be fun.
Just shake his hand and say, "Hey, man, I really enjoy your book. Thank you."
Books.
And I'm sure he
You
gets
read
that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he still seems like a really cool dude. Did you watch the interview that I put on Goodreads?
No.
You should watch it.
Okay.
I haven't watched it yet.
It was good.
Okay.
All right. So the next book we're reading, which I do not have a physical copy for, is going to be The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood.
Yes.
And I'm kind of scared. I mean, like, I want to read it, but I'm kind of scared. Just with everything that's happening right now, I feel like it's going to be terrifying.
Okay.
Further
So
terrifying. Not that I haven't seen
even
the show,
after
but
watching the show,
even
that you're going to be in.
Well, yes, but I watched
there's-
the show before, so to relive it right this moment.
in
Right.
this political climate,
Mhm.
Yes.
we're about this close to Gilead.
If I read the book, I would know what that means or something, but I don't.
You'll know.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a month.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. This time, same bat time, same bat channel.
But yeah, so that's that on that. As a reminder, if you guys would ever like to join us on camera in the discussions, you can do that by becoming a book club VIP on patreon.com/Libri Labra. There's at least 3 tiers, or you can get a custom bookmark. If you join as a book club VIP, you also get to be in a rotation where you provide selections for the group to vote on. And
join us here.
And you get, yes. And you also get added to our book club VIP chat where we share bookish things with each other. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the book pick. And what?
I was just saying, since I really liked Red Rising so much, if you guys want to talk about it some more, I'm BookTubeHubby on Twitter.
All right.
After that, you can talk about it. I'm sorry.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.